So let's look at Revelation chapter 8, beginning in verse 1. John writes that at whatever time that the little lamb, the Lord Jesus Christ, would open the seal, emphatically and specifically the seventh seal, there became silence, quietness. No one was speaking. There became silence in the heaven. So heaven became silent. For the length of time of about half an hour. And I perceived, I saw or knew with my mind, the seven angels. These are the spirits dedicated to God and carry out activities in connection with God's throne. So the seven angels stood and were standing in the sight and presence of God, and seven trumpets were given to them. So seven trumpets were given to these seven angels. Continuing in verse 3, another angel came, and he was caused to stand on the sacrificial altar. This is referring to the altar on which incense is burned, representing the prayers being offered to God. So this angel was caused to stand on the sacrificial altar, having a golden censer. And that word golden censer refers to a vessel or a container which is made of or with gold. And also he had a lot of incenses. This is a plural word. He had a lot of incenses, which produce beautiful odors when burned on hot coals. So a lot of incenses were given to the angel. Why? For the purpose and result that he will give the incenses relative to the prayers of all the holy people on the sacrificial altar, emphatically and specifically the golden sacrificial altar. Of course, the incenses again refers to the prayers of the people, as it were, rising that beautiful odor, the prayers to God. And this is on the sacrificial altar in the sight and presence of God's throne. If you'd like to read a little bit more regarding the Old Covenant times where incense was burned on coals to produce an odor daily representing the prayers of the people, you could refer to Hebrews chapter 9 verses 1 through 5. The incense altar was physically placed immediately in front of the second veil which separated it from the Ark of the Covenant. However, once a year on the Day of Atonement, the chief priest would take a golden vessel or censer containing hot coals in his right hand, plus incense in his left hand, and he would go inside the second veil, where he would burn the incense on the coals, so that the cloud of incense smoke with its beautiful odor was directed to God's presence. Now back to Revelation, where John continues, and he writes, and the smoke of the incenses went up with respect to the prayers of the holy people from the hand of the angel in the sight and presence of God. And the angel retained, so as to use what? He took the censer and he filled it up with the fire of the sacrificial altar. And that's referring to the hot burning coals. So he filled up the censer with the fire of the sacrificial altar, and he threw or casted into the earth. And there came to pass, there occurred thunders, rollings, rumbling sounds, which figuratively refers to God's presence in the expression of command, judgment, and righteousness or justice in action. There came to pass thunders and sounds and lightnings, that sudden, speedy flashes of light, and quakes, seismic events. So we see that the time of the completing together of the age, which includes judgment, will occur quickly in response to the prayers of God's people. Continuing on, the following verses, and that would be reading from Revelation 8:6 to 18:24, we would see, and we will see, the description of details of what happened in summary and as a result of what happened in verse 5, where we saw the angels casting the censer of burning coals, the hot fire, into the earth. And also we will see that the 4 angels who were stopped from treating the earth unrighteously, previously we saw in Revelation chapter 7 verses 1 to 3, they will again be able to continue in their endeavor, which was to treat the earth unrighteously. So in verse 6 in chapter 8 we read, in heaven the 7 angels, emphatically and specifically the angels who are holding or they have the 7 trumpets, prepared themselves. They made themselves ready. Why? For the purpose and result that they would blow the trumpets, make those trumpet sounds. Of course, we know that trumpets are sounded for various reasons, such as to call or to summon, to draw the hearer's attention, to listen. They are also used as a signal or a warning. They're also used to begin a battle or for a victory celebration.